Hello YouTube, just a quick update of what I did over the weekend. So hope you enjoy this update. This weekend I took the hatches, and you can see them in front of me. They're the two hatches. They're upside down. They're a little bit worse than I thought they were. I'm wondering if maybe I should just cover the holes up. But I'll get closer. And so there's the holes for the handles, and then they're the mounting holes. There's 3 on each side. The bolts on the roof, they're nearly 40 years old, were completely rusted. Most of the mounting bolts come off fairly easy, but with the handles I had to, because they were nut facing up, I had to grind them down flat, drill a little hole and just keep putting in bigger drill bits till they snapped off. Okay, and then over here you see I've got a whole lot of stainless steel hardware, some screws and washers and that to replace them. Oh, they're the handles, so that won't happen again. And dome nuts. I've bought dome nuts, so when they're sitting up on the roof, they don't, the water won't go down between the nut and the thread. Where is it? This one. Two of the mounting ones actually snapped off. I don't know if you can see the shiny metal. That's how much metal was left. The water's been running down the bolts and corroding them from the inside. So I've taken them off. I've taken the seals off. The seals were put on again with more bloody prop rivets. So I've had to go around with fiberglass, and I'm not very good with fiberglass. I don't like it. It stays runny for far too long. I can never get it to go hard quicker. If I do, it goes hard too quick. But anyway, I'm mixing it as per the instructions. So I just put one coat on yesterday. So I'll probably put some more on, build it up, and I'll get rid of all these holes because the new seals will just clip on. And then this white piece you can see is actually, there's plywood with something stuck on it. It's starting to separate along the front and the back, so I'll have to get some epoxy in that gap and clamp it shut. See if I can glue it back down, because the surface is pretty good. It's just lifting around the edge, and it's just there to make it look nice. So I'll do that, and then I'll paint it. And then on the other side, I put a bit of fiberglass around these holes, so all the holes were caved in a little bit. You can see there needs to be filled out a little bit and sanded and that. So I've got a little bit of cleaning up to do, a bit of primer on it. They'll come up pretty good. So for the moment I've just got some plastic on the roof. Gives me a bit of a skylight, not bad actually. So that's where I am with that. Once I'm happy with these, I'm going to take the guttering off because that's leaking. So these first, then that. And well, there's the inside of one of my repairs for the vents. And I've worked out how to get this stuff off. Where is it? This glue. Mineral turpentine. So I'm scratching it with a chisel as much as I can, and then terps will get off the rest. So we'll get it off. It's just going to take me a bit of time, that's all. I might just hit it with a bit of a sander at the end just to get the last bits off if there's anything that's not right. That's definitely not going to like that. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. So here is the underside of the hatch. I've been repairing them. The hatch is made out of fiberglass, and there's in the center there's some plywood stuck down, and then there's this skin on top. Let me see if I can. And around the edges, all 4 sides, the two have been separating. And so what I want to do is I want to get some glue in that joint, and I'm going to clamp it. and then leave it to dry. So let's get on with that. So I've been gluing this with a slow cure epoxy, and let's give that a go. This is the last of the 4 sides. Just opening up a new one. Forgot to cut out the cap that I need later on. When I'm finished. That should be enough. Okay. Right, I'm just going to make sure I mix this through properly. Just take a minute. Now I've gone for the slow cure, the long cure, so I've got time to work with it and let it get right into the joint. And I'm then going to clamp it, leave it overnight, and tomorrow I'll do another side. So I've done 3 of the longest sides already on these 2 hatches. So this is the last of them, and after that I'm going to cut this piece of timber that I'm using, I'll show you in a minute, for the shorter sides, which holds everything nice and straight while it's going hard. I've got a bit of acetone here for cleaning up, so if I'm getting it on anywhere that I don't want to, I can clean that up. Fun bit, try not to make it go everywhere. So I haven't shown you all these because it is a bit boring, and I've been refining my technique each one I do. So I've got a large flat screwdriver which I'm using to try to get it into the crack as much as I can. I want it to get as deep as I can to stick as much as I can. And yeah. So just working it in. Then I've got a little bit of plastic, it's actually a cable tie I'm going to stick in the crack. And again I'm going to try to work it around as much as possible. So I've got as much glue in the surface as I can to hold this shut. I think the reason this is opened up is moisture has got into the plywood and separated the 2 bits of wood. I mean, the sides are doing it as well, but the front and the back, which would have got most of the moisture, especially the front anyway, was actually the worst. So once I've done this to all 4 sides on both of them, then I can start looking at getting back to the fiberglass itself and repairing and building up the fiberglass, seeing it off, and then finally getting a coat of paint on this thing. The corners are very hard. Just getting it as deep as I can.
bit of a filly job, but it seems to be working with what I've been doing. The other side as it is. Hopefully in the future, the epoxy that I'm putting here will actually stop it happening again. Because the hatches aren't too bad, Nick. It's just a bit of cleaning up in the corners, you know. Right, I think this is all I'm going to be able to get into this crack. I'll clean that up later because I've got a bit of time to work with that. Now the trick. Now I'm just cleaning as much from the edge as I can. Right. Now I'm just squeezing the edge backwards and forwards, trying to get as much of the glue to squeeze down as I can. I don't know if I'm getting too much down in the crack, but anyway, just trying. Then this is the trick. Got a cable tie, a little cable tie, bent the end off at 9 degrees, and now I'm actually putting it in the gap, wiggling it around, trying to spread what I can. I want to get as much penetration as I can. I'm going to call that done. Right. Nearly ready to clamp. So I need that the next time. Right, where's my acetone? So this is my acetone. Now I have made a little bit of mess on the edge. So just going around the edge, trying to get the epoxy off. Because this white surface I want it as nice as I can for later. I'm going to paint it, but just want it as smooth as I can. So that's taken all the excess epoxy now off that surface. Just checking I haven't spilt any, which I haven't. Okay, so now I'm ready for gluing. Now I've got this piece, it's just right to fit inside, which you'll see in a moment. That's just to try to give it a flat to spread the clamp, so it's not just clamping in one spot. Yeah. So I'm going to line that up exactly with the edge. I've got a lot of clamps here so I can spread the load out. There we go. Just sit nothing. I want to make sure I clamp the whole thing all the way along. And while I'm doing this, the glue is squeezing up. That's okay for the moment. So it's clamped along that edge. Okay, so you can see that there. Now I'm going to lie it on its back. Doing this, lying it on its back now, any excess glue will now drip down away from this bit of wood, so this wood won't get stuck when I take it off later. So as I said, this is the last of the long sides. I've still got to do the short sides, which aren't anywhere near as bad. Once I've done that, I'm going to sand down this lip, the fiberglass lip. I'm going to go over a couple of times with some fiberglass, try and take some of this fiberglass, these ridges and that out of it and get it smoothed off, sand it down. So when I do paint this, it'll look as good as I can get it. Once I've done that, I'm going to turn it over and I'll start working on the underside, or which will be the top side, because these holes that I repaired last time, they're not built up yet, so that still needs to be worked on. Okay, so I'm going to do this on my own, and I'll come back when it's done, and I'll show you working on the top side. Okay, thanks for watching.